Alright everyone, welcome back. Kult of Athena Blade Reviews. Today we have the Windlass Diavolo Gauche. So this one is basically a large parrying dagger. We're going to see that we have this little ring here, which is intended to protect the hand when using blade contact. So this would obviously be paired with perhaps even a rapier, where this is out in front, or in a different parry position, where this would be in play. We'll take a look at some specs on this one, up close looks, and then even though it's not a primary function of the Gauche, for at least how I know from Spanish rapier and dagger, that would be just more for parrying and puncturing. We are going to look at some cut testing. Mark did sharpen this one for us, so thank you, Mark, for adding a sharpening service. And let's get to the video. All right, overall length on this Diavolo Gauche is 19 1/4 inches. We have a peen pommel. We have a wire wrapped grip. This is all wire. It's all very tightly bound together. Blade length itself is 12 5/8 inches. This is again primarily a parrying dagger. Primary functions of this dagger would be in the left hand, and it would be used either out in front in a different parry position, assisted with an espada or a sword of some sort. Looking at the weight on this one, 1 pound 8 ounces. So quite a beast of a Gauche here. I will say the pommel, it's not really super heavy, but it's definitely got some weight on it. So I imagine if you had to throw this and you did pick them up with the pommel, that would actually do some good damage to it. The guard is really interesting. If we look at the guard, we can see that that whole part of the hand is really covered from there being any type of ricocheting, especially when you're using sword and dagger. And it's a long dagger like this. You have the ability to use the parry positions and kind of lock their blade up to assist the longer weapon in the right hand. So that's the reason why it's not just primarily just a regular cross guard, is that way you can really lock that up wherever you're at, and also primarily for it to really protect your hand. You wouldn't really want to have a dagger that doesn't have a long cross guard like this, especially if you're working with rapier and dagger or another sword and dagger system. Looking at 1055 high carbon steel. Like I said before on this one, the Gauche, I will talk about the grip as well. So I'm primarily using a saber grip for this one, where it's coming out to here, where you still have the articulation of the dagger, or the Gauche rather. It's really categorized as a dagger based on the length. But I really like having the knuckle on the top here. That way the hand is really protected when it is in primarily that thrust position, or if the hand is tilted. You'll see that, you know, that's a lot of protection for the hand. Obviously you could come over the top, but you know, you're gonna move that hand relative to where it needs to go in assistance with a sword as well. Let's go ahead and do some up close looks of this Gauche in the scabbard and out of the scabbard, and then we'll do some cuts with it on the tatami mats. Let's get to it. Taking a look at the Diavolo in the grass, we'll see the tightly wrapped wire grip. We've got the extra hand protection. Comes with a leather scabbard, standard scabbard that Windlass has. We have a little bit of decoration on the end of the scabbard as well. Actually complementing the wire wrap grip, I would think. We flip it over. It's almost like horns. It kind of reminds me of the Motorhead logo, if you're familiar with Motorhead. Like the horns on it. Very heavy, pretty heavy peen pommel. All right, and then we have it out of the scabbard. Take a look at the wire wrap grips again. Take it up to the blade. You'll notice on the shadow there is a diamond cross section running through this Gauche. So this is not just a shadow, it is an actual diamond cross section. Flip it over, opposite side of the ring. You'll see this is made by Windlass in India. And this one has been sharpened, so you must add a sharpening surface if you want this to come sharp when you order it. Where I'm primarily using a saber grip with it, which it would be in the left hand, but I have actually seen the Gauche used where the thumb is actually flat, so that this is being used and articulated where the thumb is pointing in the same direction. It's principally a saber grip. It's the same, really the same thing, especially if you're parrying with it or using the edge, or even you're using false edge parries. But I have seen that. So those of you who might be familiar with that, I have seen the Gauche in what I would call a modified saber grip. Okay, now let's go ahead and take a look at some cut testing on the Diavolo Gauche from Windlass and see how it does. Yep, so we'll see. It cut the tatami really well. Very deep cuts. The blade is pretty thick. And remember that this blade, I thought it looked cool in the sand too. This blade is not really primarily designed for cutting, but it's sharpened, so thrusting items like tatami doesn't really look that cool. So we just made sure that you can see that it takes a good edge. And it's a well-crafted blade. Alright, so there you have it, the Windlass Diavolo Gauche. So this one is really primarily a parrying dagger in the dagger category of weaponry. And this one has a sharpening surface on it. So again, thank you, Mark, for adding a sharpening surface so we can get this video out to all of you. If you like the Gauche and other parrying daggers, comment below what your favorite parrying dagger is so we know. Maybe we'll do a review on it for you. As always, thank you for your support. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, and we'll see you in the next one.